serve as our regular meeting for May 16, 2019 will come to order. I would like to remind you all to please turn your phones on silent or vibrate or off. I would like to introduce Jeremiah Bazell for our invocation.
Lord, I pray that we have a good youth council, Lord. Lord, I pray for all the people in here, Lord. Lord, I pray that it go good today, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Now we have our Pledge of Allegiance by the Vicious Young Men. Can we all please stand?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next on the agenda is the minutes. May I have a motion?
I, Ashton Nates, first this motion.
I, Tyrion Wilson, second this motion.
It's been motioned in second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have the approval order of the agenda. May I have a motion?
I, Candace Bates, first this motion.
I, Tyrion Wilson, second this motion.
It's been motioned in second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Okay, I'd like to introduce Ms. Denisha Williams.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
So very excited to see you all here. Thank you for coming out and supporting our Mayor's Youth Council. This is their very first meeting for this group. Give them a hand. We're so proud of them and what they've accomplished so far and what they will be accomplishing. With that being said, according to our agenda, we're going to continue. We have the pleasure of recognizing someone in our community that has committed basically her whole life, because as far as I can remember, and not to date myself, but I was a part of her debutante ball long time ago, and it was such a pleasure, and it's wonderful to know that she is still pouring her heart and soul into our community and into our youth. So we're going to have Ms. Rutherford to come forward and speak on the Mary Hayes Center.
Good evening.
Good evening.
First, I want to thank whomever thought it was deserving to ask me to come and talk today. I don't consider myself a speaker. I'm a teacher. And I turned down a lot of speaking engagements because I don't feel that that is my anointing. But I want to say this, and I'm glad he walked in. If I had known your city manager was a former student of mine, I've been down here and let him pull some strings for me. 8th grade a long time ago. A long time ago. But when I walked in here and I saw you in these uniforms, you look so polished. You look like you have been doing this for a very long time. If this was your first time, just imagine how it's going to be at the end of the year. I am so pleased. I just wish so many more young folks can see you in action so they can see something positive. We don't see enough of this. I am with the Mary Hayes Center. At the banquet you had, your city manager let the worm out that I had him 100 years ago. But I taught school 32 years, and I retired in '97. And after retirement, I was asked to serve as director of the Mary Hayes Center. Before I went there, the Mary Hayes Center had several programs. One was Teen Resource Mom, because the teen pregnancy in Coffee County was so high, and they wanted to do something about it. Another one was drug recovery. Drug usage among young adults and older adults was exceptionally high in Coffee County. When I went, they gave me, the center had closed. The Mary Hayes Center was open in 91. It closed in 97. And it had an after-school program, the drug recovery, and it also had a senior citizen program dealing with senior citizens. After it closed down in 91, I was asked to come and serve as director, but I was given the opportunity to choose the programs that I wanted. I felt like they had enough programs throughout the community to handle teen pregnancy. I also felt like they had enough to handle drug recovery. But there were not enough programs to deal with children and the problems that they were having in school. So I chose after-school program. Our mission is focus on the homework help problem, because a lot of our kids, I found, are being reared in homes by the grandparents. There's no dad, there's no mom, and the grandparents are responsible for their safekeeping. Our mission is to promote the guidance of at-risk youth. We had a high dropout when I first started with the Mary Hayes Center. A lot of our youth were dropping out of school, and then there were other problems that they were challenged with. There was a lot of drug among them also. So I decided to do the homework help dealing with at-risk students, and I was concentrating on the moral values and the behavior of the youth. So we wanted to challenge, change, and expand what was closed frontiers to them. So we work not only closely with the parents, but we have a good, close working relationship with all of the schools. Students are bused to our center from all of the schools, the elementary schools and the middle school. When I first got there, I did keep the parenting program. My first major was sociology, and I loved dealing with people. But I had to go back, and my dad said, you can't go out in upstate and become a social worker, so I had to work at home. I had to go back and get education. So the closest subject I could get to what I already had was social studies, and I hated social studies. But I've been teaching, I taught social studies 32 years. I did a wonderful job with it, because I had to find an interesting way to keep the students interested, because I didn't like it when I was in school. I also included the senior citizen program. We had women in 50s, 60s, 70s who had nothing to do. That was before the senior citizen program was open up for the county. So they would come, we would crochet, we would knit. We even did skits during Black History Month, and we would go to the elementary schools. These senior citizens would put on costumes and portray some of the past Black historians. Currently, we have 41 students from all of the elementary schools and the middle school. We're open from Monday through Thursday, from 2 to 5:30. Now, our staff is composed of college work study students. They get paid through the college. But the adults, they're volunteers. When I first went there, I got paid the same salary as I did when I was teaching. It got too political. I asked the advisory board to let us come from under that. So I've been working since then, just volunteering. The rest of the staff there are retired adults, and they volunteer. And that includes the secretary, the teachers, and myself. Now, why do they keep coming? They love working, because they surely don't get paid. We have a daily task. When the parents, we don't recruit. Our program has grown to the point where we turn students down. Now, we don't compete with the Boys and Girls Club, because we were there before there was a Boys and Girls Club. Before there was a Boys and Girls Club, we had over 100 students in the Mary Hayes Center. I don't want 100 students now, because right now we can work one-on-one with the students that we have. They get to sign in when they get off the bus. They get a name tag. We try to teach them rules and regulations so they can conform, and this is every day. They take their book bags to their classroom. They take out their homework. They give the homework to the secretary. She makes copies. And the next thing they do, they put their heads down and they rest from 10 to 15 minutes. Because a lot of our students have been going ever since 6 o'clock in the morning. After the 15-minute break, then they get prepared for refreshment. Now, one thing we always do, we stress behavior. We have a big wall on our chart, a big chart on our wall, and on that chart, it has the name of every child on there. We have a pocket, and each pocket is a stick with 3 stars. Each time they violate a rule, they lose a star. At the end of the period, if they have at least 1 star, they get to either go out and play, or they get to go on an eating trip. We just went to Hungry Howard. That's what I have on my shirt. I thought your meeting was Wednesday. I was dressed up for you. I would look just like you. But today I'm dressed down because we wore our t-shirts today. If they don't have at least 1 star, they don't get to participate in the other activities. And this is how we get them to behave. When the rules are violated, we have a discipline slip that the parent has to sign. After 3 disciplines, if they don't change, they go home for 2 or 3 days. If they come back within 3 days, we try not to keep them any longer than that because the grandparents cannot help them, and most of them are at risk of failing. When they come back, if we still have a problem, we send them home for a month. If that doesn't work, then we can't help them, because what happens if another child sees this one doing something and that one is getting away, then we can't help the others. Now I looked at this when I came in and I see how dignified you are. Your title is Junior, what is it? Mayor Youth Council, the junior, right?
Yeah, the junior.
When I was coming, Mayor, we need an elementary youth mayor council, and I'm going to share why I said that. This is what I do every day, and the bus drivers have gotten so used to it. If there's a problem on the bus, I don't know if you're familiar. How many ride buses? Anybody ride the bus to school? Is your bus nice and quiet? It's awful, isn't it? It's terrible. I don't know about yours, but elementary buses, it's gotten so bad. The bus driver will pull up in my drive, and Miss Relevant, come here, and I get on the bus. And when I get on the bus, you know who I try to act like?
Who?
You ever watch Tyler Perry, my dear? I get on the bus, I don't know them, and I said, I try to scare them into their seat. They look at me, and I said, if she stops again, I'm going to show you something. And it works for a while, because that's what they are used to. But I'm going to share this, show you just why I said we need an elementary council. There was 2 first graders fighting on the bus. The latter part of last year. The kids come in, since they know I monitor the bus, which I don't really have to be doing, they'll come, Miss Rutherford, there was a fight on the bus. And guess what they said? And I videoed it. We're talking about first graders. They videoed the fight. Then the bus driver pulled up in the drive about 2 months ago and said, Miss Rutherford, I had some problem. I had to stop the bus because that little girl right there, which was the first grader, she was a little chubby girl, was fighting another little girl, and I had to stop the bus because that girl had pulled her out of the seat and they were in the aisle on the floor while she was driving. To top it off, just 2 weeks ago, a 5th grader in my class, in one of the classes, came to Miss Relevant, somebody has my cell phone. I said, are you sure? Did you bring it? Yes, ma'am, I had it. I said, where was it? It was in my book bag. We questioned everybody. I even called 911 and talked to the lady that sits with my husband, and she pretends that she's an officer, and I'll call her name, and I said, well, can you send some officers out here or bring the box to check and see if they're lying, because somebody, can you take them to jail? Sometimes this is the only way I can get them to tell me what they're doing. All right, but she said, I don't have the phone. So when she went home, someone must have called her mother, and her mother called me and the secretary and said she found the little girl's phone in her daughter's backpack. And she said, Miss Relevant, I thought I was going to jail because I tried to do everything I could to let her know it was wrong. That should have corrected her. The second time, got another call. This time, she had taken a phone in the classroom. And the teachers called the mother. The mother checked her bag, and the phone was in her bag. Now, to top it off, folks, today I'm at Hungry Highway trying to enjoy the kids. I get a phone call from the secretary. She said, the police officers are here. I said, the police officers are there for what? They said they tracked this child's phone. What do you call it? The tracking device? Mm-hmm. They tracked it to the center. Someone had taken a child's phone at this elementary school today, and we were at the Hungry Highway between 3 and 4 o'clock, and they tracked it to the center. So the secretary knew that this child had taken the phones before, so she said, ask her what her book bag looked like so they can find the book bag. I said, baby, did you, what color is your book bag? Am I in trouble? I said, no, I just want to know what color your book bag is. I didn't take my book bag to school today. That's what she told me. When I got to the center, the police officers had found another phone in her bag. And she knew it. So as soon as I came in with other kids, Miss Relevant, please talk to my mom because my mom is going to kill me. I said, why she's going to kill you? Because my friend let me use her phone and she put it in my bag, and I told her not to put it in there, but she put it in there anyway. I said, why did you allow her to do it? Well, I told her to take it out. I said, well, I can't help you, baby. I said, that's between you and your mom. When I left the center about 30 minutes ago, she was crying because she knew that she had taken the third phone in less than 2 months. I don't know whether she's kleptomaniac or, and she had a phone. Her mother said she had a phone and she took it from her. That's why I said we need an elementary council. I was listening to the things that you do, and we really need to reach more children before this one get lost. But we are open at the Mary Hay Center, and anytime you want to come, and if you want to volunteer, we would love to have you. You are so dignified. I think you would do a wonderful job, and thank you for asking me.
Ms. Relaford, we recognize your efforts in providing after-school programming in our community. The Mary Hay Center benefits not only the children, but the parents who need assistance. As the Mayor's Youth Council, we are striving to connect, serve, and make a difference in our community. As in adopting the Mary Hay Center, I need a motion.
Hi, Tyrone Wilson, first the motion.
I can say second this motion.
The motion's been second, and all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? With that being said, it is with great pleasure the Mayor's Youth Council would like to adopt the Mary Hay Center. We will help by volunteering to assist you with your endeavors by giving our time to connect and serve and make a difference with the children in the community. We would like to
I didn't understand that first, the verb the first time. I understand it now. You're going to adopt the Mary Hay Center. Thank you.
Just a second. Could I have all of the Mayor's Youth Council to come forward? Y'all got to even up. Thank you. Thank you. you, Ms. Relaford, for your continued service and hard work working with our youth. You are so greatly appreciated. And with that, we're also now going to speak regarding our Mayor's Youth Council Spotlight person. Each month, we try to recognize one of these persons that are just doing fabulous things, and even more wonderful things are to come this year as they take their roles as Mayor's Youth Council members. And with each meeting, we recognize one of the council members. And so with this meeting, we're recognizing Mr. Ashton Ates.
Pretty excited. We didn't have none last time. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. And he's gonna give you a little information about himself, but the certificate says a certificate of appreciation is presented to Ashton Ates, an outstanding Mayor's Youth Council member and youth in the community. Your dedication is greatly appreciated. Congratulations from the City of Douglas Mayor's Youth Council, presented on the 16th day of May 2019.
Hi, my name is Ashton Ates, and I am 14 years old. I attend George Washington Carver Freshman Campus. I participate in 4-H band, and this is my first year of the Mayor's Youth Council. Thank you for my award.
We also like to recognize someone in our community. Each month, because this is near and dear to our mayor's heart, as well as the Mayor's Youth Council, recognizing there's some very positive things that are happening in our community. There are some youth that are striving for excellence. They're doing wonderful things, either in school, academics, athletically, extracurricular activities, where they're learning leadership skills, team building skills, with their church, youth groups, and we want to recognize that. So we employ you here today, as well as throughout our Douglas community. If you know of someone, a youth person in your community that is doing something wonderful for the community, for themselves, for their family, let us know, because we take pride in recognizing and encouraging our youth, so that others will say, hey, if they can do it, I can do it as well. So again, if you know of anyone, please feel free to call myself or Ms. Juanetta, who's up here at the City of Douglas. Just let us know, email us, or give us a call. Our information is always available up here or on our Facebook page, and you can like us. You can go to our page and like us on the Mayor's Youth Council. That's just out there. But visit that and find out what's going on with the Mayor's Youth Council teen court and just within our community. And I like each time to leave them with a word of encouragement. We have a community person, but they're not here yet. So if he comes, we'll kind of switch some things around. But I like to leave you with some encouragement or inspiring words. It says, if your actions inspire others to dream more, to learn more, do more, or become more, you are a leader. And that's by John Quincy Adams.
National Police Week 2019 in the United States began on Sunday, May 12th and ends on Saturday, May 18th. On Peace Officers Memorial Day and throughout Police Week, we express our unending gratitude to our nation's law enforcement and officers. Those brave men and women selflessly confront danger to protect our families and defend our communities. We also honor those in blue who have been killed or disabled in the line of duty. We are especially mindful of the tremendous sacrifices of the 160 heroes who laid down their lives while protecting their communities last year. With that being said, I would like to introduce our Chief of Police to speak.
Like you said, May the 12th we have had one police officer killed in the line of duty here in Douglas. September the 8th of 1920, night marshal, I guess they called them marshals back then, was killed while escorting a poll worker home. He'd come upon some guys that had been drinking and they were shooting their gun in the streets. He confronted them and was killed by one of the offenders. So we have had one line of duty death here in the city of Douglas. His picture does hang in the lobby of the police department, and we honored him this week on our Facebook page. As you know, I've made a post on Facebook this week about how many police officers have been killed in the line of duty this year. The next day, as a matter of fact, that night, there was a Savannah police officer killed in the line of duty. So everybody needs to keep the Savannah Police Department and that officer standing in their prayers. Thank you for what you do. Always remember I had this conversation with a police officer today. He had applied with us and he had made some choices in his life that didn't meet our standards. All of you must remember that the choices you make today will affect you for the rest of your life. If you do drugs today, you might have to answer that on a polygraph 15 years down the road when you apply for a job. So always remember the choices you make today will come back to bite you later. So always make good choices. You're always welcome to come by the police department, and I want to talk with you about what we can do to help you. So please don't leave until we speak. But a lot of these kids are making choices and they don't realize that down the road it could affect them for the rest of their life. And thank you for what you do. This is a great program, and you guys are doing a great job. Thank you.
A few of us have some questions.
Okay.
I'll start with mine. When and why did you decide that police work was for you?
I'll tell you what, in high school, I had some friends that made some bad choices, and I saw what happened to them. I had a best friend that went to prison for selling drugs my senior year. He graduated the next day, he went to prison. I decided then that I was going to make the right choices in my life. And I knew that the choices I made then would affect me for the rest of my life. I always joke and tell people that I was too scared to steal and too lazy to work, and so I became a cop. But I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to do something positive, and I've lived by those values. As soon as I graduated high school, I came to ABAT, just down the road here, and got a criminal justice degree. And I've worked in law enforcement ever since I graduated from ABAT back in the 1900s.
Anyone else have any questions?
Hi, Mr. Police Chief. Do you feel as if you have seen a change since you have taken up your new position as chief?
Here?
Yes, sir.
The first thing I saw when I came here is a lot of the stuff that we were putting on Facebook was negative crimes. We were looking for answers to crimes. Police officers are people too. We care, as y'all may have seen in the commission meetings this week. We gave out 2 life-saving awards. We gave out an award, a Chief's Commendation, for one of the police officers giving a young man a police uniform. We want to be more positive in the community. My first week here, I saw a gentleman at one of the gas stations. I went up and tried to talk to him. I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And he's like, "Get away from me." So this past week, I saw that same gentleman, and he had done something, and the police officers treated him with kindness and respect. He gave back what he took, apologized to the people, and before I left, he says he wanted to shake my hand. He says, "Hey, Chief, I'm glad you spoke to me." So I'm trying to get the police officers to be out more in the public, talk to everyone, the kids in the schools. The police officers are not here to hurt you, they're here to help you. I want the kids to come up to police officers. I want to be a positive role model in the community. I hope to work more with the schools. We're running a little short-handed right now, but when I get more people, I want to have more people in the schools. I want to have more people to help the centers like Mary Hayes Center. That's what we want to do. We want to prevent crime, teach the kids, instead of having to investigate crime. If I don't have to investigate crimes, I can spend more time educating the kids, and that's what's important to me. So I hope we've seen positive change since I come here. I hope, and I hope it continues.
Okay, I have a question. So, what is your suggestion for someone who is dealing with abuse in a home?
Speak out.
Speak out.
Tell somebody.
Okay, because, you know, a lot of people don't really realize that this is actually going on, but, you know, it is going on with people that we would never even think that would go through this, and they deal with it, and even if they do speak out sometimes, like, nothing gets done. So I was just asking.
You have to take the first step. If in fact that is happening, you have to speak out and ask for help. And I hope and pray that my officers would do everything in their power to help the situation. I've got a lot of personal cases that I've worked over the years where the police officers did help. We can only help so much, but the victims have to help themselves. But I want to make sure that we investigate every act of violence as to the best of our abilities. And that's what I'm big on, because I've worked some really bad cases over the years as a result of family violence and abuse, and I don't want to see that again. It's very heart-wrenching, and a few of those cases hit close to home because after I started investigating, I ended up knowing some of the people involved, so it hit close to home.
How do you can go ahead.
Okay. My question is about, like, how would you help someone or give them advice if they're wanting to get into law enforcement?
Pay attention to the choices you make. Study hard. Be honest. Always be honest. I look at some of these faces in here and some of these young men and women. I think I'll be handing out applications when we get done here tonight, because we need good police officers. Y'all can hold on to them for a couple of years and stay out of trouble. We'll put you to work. I think I'm going to start a Police Chiefs Junior Council because some of you are a lot more responsible and a lot more respected than a lot of the adults that are coming in the door down there. And you guys, ladies and gentlemen, y'all deserve a big hand for that. Honesty, integrity, and this kind of thing here, what you guys are doing, will look good on a resume one day. Very good. Because this is, and you'll look on the side of our police cars. Integrity, honesty, service. That's what we stand for, and you guys are already starting to serve the community, and that's great.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
What age do you have to be?
21. You can go to the academy at 18, but our requirement is the age of 21. So there are positions out there with the State Department of Revenue. They will send the people to the academy at 18, and they do undercover alcohol buys because you got to be under 21 to do that. So there are some positions in the state of Georgia where you can go work as a police officer at 18. You just can't buy your own gun or your own ammo, but you can go to the academy. You had a question.
Yes, sir. What is your plan towards kind of moving the community towards stop kind of giving the police a bad connotation? Because as you mentioned before, often when you see a police, whether it's at school, on the road, in a casual setting, you immediately tend to tense up. So how can we as a community start moving towards a change where we're kind of one-on-one with the police? It isn't so formal, I guess.
Like I said before, when I get more people, I want to get more involved in the community. We're going to assign officers to communities, whether it's a $1 million house or a $10,000 house. Those residents mean no more to me than the other. And we're going to put officers in the community to work with those communities and get to know the officers. Each community will have their own officer. That's my officer. That's Officer Wood. Some of you may know some of the officers. You know, I want every person in this community, every person in this city to know at least one police officer that they can call upon. I want the officers in the schools. One thing that I learned when I got here was some of the police officers weren't wearing their uniforms to schools that they're working in. I said, why is that? Oh, the kids are afraid of the uniform. Well, we got to change that. The kids should not be afraid of the uniform. The kids should come up to the uniform. The kids should embrace the uniform. The kids should feel comfortable when a police officer walks in, and we're going to change that. And so, little by little, We're changing that, just like the little junior police officer, we'll call him Chief Rozier. We was hoping he would be here tonight, but just him going up to police officer, the police officers loved that more than he did. When he came to my office and was chief of the day, every police officer there was gathered up outside my office wanting to see him, wanting to talk to him, wanting to have their picture made with him. So I had to tell them, I'll go back to work, you know, y'all get something done. But no, it was great, and I want more of that.
I have a question. How many years can you serve as a police officer?
I read an article today, there was a 90-year-old police officer in Louisiana. As long as you can do the job. I lived in Jefferson, Georgia for a while. There's a guy there that's 80 years old, and he's still serving as a police officer. All he does is the crosswalk at the elementary school, but he's still a police officer, and he still goes out every day and does the crosswalk at the school. And when school's out, he takes reports at the station. So he's 80 years old and still doing it, and doesn't want to retire.
What crimes do you hate having to arrest?
Say it again.
What crimes do you hate having to arrest?
I hate to arrest any crime. I don't want to arrest anybody. If we could do away with having to arrest people, I would do it. The ones that I really hate to arrest is good people that make bad mistakes. There are good people that make bad mistakes. I've seen it. I know it happens. Sometimes we have no choice. But there are good people that make bad mistakes, and that's the ones you really hate taking to jail. But I wish we didn't have to arrest anybody.
We would like to thank you for coming and talking, and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
We have a slight change in the agenda. Our representative from Unison Behavior Health is Ms. Keisha Webb instead of Ms. Erica Rainey.
All right. I would like to introduce Ms. Keisha Webb to the podium.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. As we all know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So I would like to thank you all for the opportunity to share on this very important topic. Sometimes in this culture, it can be easily overlooked because everybody is so fast-paced and everybody wants to be strong and everybody wants to, look like they're, like they have it all together. But mental health it's very important, so it's a very good topic to share on. So let's talk about the definition of mental health. It is a person's condition and includes their emotional, psychological, and social well-being. So your mental health, it involves your emotions, the way you think about things, the way you react to different situations, and how you just handle life in general. And I like the word mental health because just like our physical health, it takes time and it takes practice to stay healthy mentally. And there are activities that you can do to increase your mental health awareness. And just like our physical health, if you don't continuously work on it, it can decline. So some things that you can do to increase your mental health awareness is just doing things that you like to do. If you like to read, that's a good de-stressor. If you like listening to music, if you like exercising, if you like reading books, just doing things that you enjoy, things that you like to do. And why mental health is important. You want to be able to be your best. You want to be able to give your best in everything that you do. You always want to be, just be your best, and you want to be healthy. Some indicators that you may be experiencing mental health symptoms and things such as that. Just if you're eating and sleeping different, if your patterns change erratically, then that might be a sign that you may need to talk to somebody and you may need to get yourself checked out. If you find yourself pulling away from activities that you really enjoy doing, that can be a sign that something may be happening internally. Of course, if you're having thoughts of harming yourself, you definitely want to get help and you definitely want to talk to somebody. Some stigma around mental health is that if you're thinking of harming yourself or you find yourself in a low place, that it's a bad thing. And that's not true at all. Because we all find ourselves, in bad places sometimes. And the right thing to do is find somebody that you're comfortable talking to. Find someone that you trust and tell them some things that you're feeling, so they can help you out and help you get back to that good place. Some things that I want you all to be on the lookout for, some signs that someone close to you may be thinking about suicide, or they may be having some issues, is if you just notice that they're not talking as much, a drastic change in their mood, or if they're talking about giving away things, or trying to give you stuff that they hold dear to them, those could be some signs that someone close to you is thinking about harming themselves. And you kind of want to get in there, and sometimes you have to have that tough conversation. Hey, are you thinking about harming yourself? Are you okay? Is there something that you want to talk about? And sometimes we don't, we don't want to have that conversation because it can be uncomfortable, but I think it's better to take that step and have that conversation and, deal with the issue before it gets to a point where you can't really do anything about it. So I want you all to just be on the lookout with people that you're close to, and just take extra special care with looking out for yourself this month, and be aware of your mental health, how you're feeling mentally. And if you're not feeling well, then don't be afraid to talk to someone, and make sure that you're doing things that you enjoy and taking that time for yourself to rejuvenate and recharge so that you can be the best you.
Can you explain how you impact the communities by educating them on mental health this month?
Well, I work for Unison Behavior Health, and what I do is I help individuals with developmental disabilities find employment. So I actually get to educate a lot of people in the community when I go out to visit with employers. A lot of people in the community aren't aware of people with developmental disabilities. They aren't aware how to interact with them. So I do a lot of educating people and just letting them know that mental health awareness is nothing, mental health disabilities is nothing to be afraid of. You don't have to be biased towards those people. And just people, sometimes if you haven't experienced yourself and you don't have anybody that's close to you that has a developmental disability or that has a mental health issue, you kind of try to shy away from it. But like I said, just talking to people and letting them know that even though someone may have a mental health issue, they're a person just like us, they have feelings just like us, and they just want to be loved, and they want the same opportunities that we get.
I have a question. You know how some people, they don't want to open up, they do not want to talk to them. How can we get them to start opening up about how they feel before it's too late?
I think with that, just first and foremost, just letting them know that you are available, and letting them know that you're not judging them. You're asking them because you care, not because you're judging them. And sometimes when you're dealing with mental health issues, which could be post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, anything like that, you see things from a different lens than everybody else around you does. So if you ask them something, they may feel like you're being judgmental. So I think that it would help a lot if you lead the conversation with, hey, I care about you, and I'm asking this because I care, and I want to help you get through this. And just constantly being there and just making them feel comfortable. I think once you knock that wall down and you get past those barriers, they'll be a lot more open to talk about it.
Thank you.
So within the Unison Behavior Health, is it like a program that anyone can join, or do you have to have like a mental, physical, or like test that you have to go through, or is it just for someone who's like going through something like having suicidal thoughts? Or
well, there is no test, and the program is geared towards people. We have two sides. We have a developmental disability side, and we have a mental health side. And So it ranges from people who were born developmentally delayed or were born with mental health issues, down to the person that, hey, I had a bad day, I'm not feeling too well, I feel like I'm thinking about harming myself. You can come in and get counseling. There are resources and pamphlets and information that we have for you too. So we serve a wide range of people.
Okay, thank you.
To clarify, could you just kind of explain to us what is a mental health issue? Not one that's that you're kind of born with, but one that you, I guess, could say that you define as you begin to receive suicidal thoughts.
Okay. Something that you may not be born with, but develop over time. A few that I'm familiar with was anxiety, like post-traumatic stress disorder. That's when you experience a traumatic event and you kind of constantly relive that. Depression, things like that are developed over time, and they happen just with life's experiences. Everybody is built different, and everybody does not have the same level of resiliency, which means how you're able to handle things. So, maybe someone can be okay with getting into a car accident, and then maybe someone can't. Or maybe someone can, process the death of a family member, and then maybe someone can't. And then so with someone who can't process those things healthily, and they don't have anywhere to put those negative emotions, we see them begin to develop those symptoms of different issues like depression and things like that.
Okay. Thank you for coming to speak with us.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, we will have our public information report from Commissioner Suarez.
Thank you. Okay, so May 18th is the Douglas Residential Junk Drop-Off Day, from 8:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. at City Pole Yard, 670 South Pearl Avenue. May 22nd, free workshop, Intro to Complete Streets, from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., Dogwood Room, Central Square Complex. May 27th, city offices will be closed in observance of Memorial Day. May 28th, the city swimming pool opens. June 1st, Douglas Residential Junk Drop-Off Day, 8:30 a.m. to 12 noon at City Pole Yard, 670 South Pearl Avenue. June 15th, Douglas Residential Junk Drop-Off Day, 8:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. at City Pole Yard, 670 South Pearl Avenue. June 17th through July 19th is an early registration for football at Parks and Recreation Department. For more information, you can call 384-5978. And June 17th through July 19th is early registration for soccer at the Parks and Recreation Department. You call 384-5978. And June 17th through July 19th is also the early registration for cheerleading at the Parks and Recreation Department. For more information, you can call 384-5978. That's it.
All right, thank you. Item number 11, we have our social media update from our Mayor Pro Tem, Anna Escobar.
Thank you. I would just like to remind everyone that we do have a Facebook and Instagram. If you wish to follow our Instagram, it is Douglas NYC, and our Facebook is Douglas Mayor's Youth Council. So if you guys can please go and follow us, we'll be kind of updating on when our meetings are, pictures of who's our spotlight youth members for the month, as well as our individual members who are being recognized for that month.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Ms. Escobar. Item number 12 will be the Mayor's Youth Council members' comments. I will start with Ms. Commissioner Hayes.
I would like to thank all of our speakers for coming, and if you are watching and if you have any questions or comments about our meeting, please feel free to call Mrs. Anitra.
All right. Commissioner Jackson.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming, and I think that adopting Mayor Hayes is a great idea so that we can help out with the Mayor Hayes. And I agree that there should be an elementary Mayor show other kids what they can do to better themselves, and we need to reach out to more kids and get them involved.
Commissioner Aids?
I would like to thank everybody for coming, and I would like to remind everybody that the mental health fair is at 10 to 2 at the Central Square Complex. I would like everybody to come out, please, and support us. Thank you.
Commissioner Suarez?
October is anti-bullying month, and the Fly Girls are planning a march that month, so I invite you all to join us. More information will come later on. And Teen Court is every first Saturday of each month. If you would like to participate in the next one is June 1st. Be there at 8:15 a.m. We are looking for jurors from 6th grade to 12th grade. That's it.
Mayor Pro Tem Escobar?
Hi, I would just like to thank everybody for coming, taking the time out of their day to come and join us on our very first meeting of our very first Mayor's Youth Council for our second year now. I was with the first group, so I'm loving this group right now. I'm really excited about all that we're going to accomplish. I would like to thank Ms. Relaford for coming and talking to us about your work with the community. I really am inspired by you and all the work that you've done with the youth as well as the teens of the community, and how you continue to help them even though you've been doing it for so long. He hasn't gotten tiring for you, which is very inspiring. Thank you to Mr. Edmond. I would just like to thank everybody. I would like to encourage everybody to thank any police officers. Thank them for their service. They put their lives up for all of us so that we remain safe in all of our communities, and that we're never afraid that we're going to get robbed, or if that does happen, we do have some form of security. Also, Ms. Keisha Webb for coming to us and talking about mental health. I think that's something that should be discussed more often, and if you know someone who needs help, please go and talk to them. Just kind of get on a one-on-one basis with them. Be like, hey, look, I know you might be going through something. I'm here for you. I don't want you to make it feel as if I'm forcing you to come out to me, but really just kind of make them feel like they're loved, and just make them keep wanting to push forward with their lives. But yeah, thank you for everybody for coming. I hope you guys have a good summer. If we don't have a meeting by then, enjoy your summer, have fun, relax, de-stress, and then move it on.
Commissioner Wilson?
I want to thank everybody for coming in and attending this meeting. I want to thank the speakers too, and I want to thank Miss. I want to and that I'm glad that we're adopting the Mary Hayes Center to help out with the youth and be more involved with them, and that's it.
Commissioner Crockett?
First, I would like to thank Ms. Relaford for your awesome achievement in the community, so as the Chief Police Officer, and you too, Ms. Relaford, for helping and reaching out to the children. And secondly, I would like to congratulate Mrs. Milka Ramirez for getting chosen as the new commander in the NJROTC program in Crawford County. Thank you, Ramirez, for your awesome and outstanding achievement and dedication to the program. Thank you all.
I would like to thank you all for coming and speaking. As school is coming to an end, I would like to remind everyone that graduation is set to be held at Jordan Stadium on May 25th, unless there's some changes due to weather. Also, many of you have probably seen a lot of people wearing these Know Your Worth shirts. They're maroon. These shirts are for a campaign called CHAMP. The point of CHAMP is to raise awareness for suicide prevention. I would like to encourage all of you to check out the CHAMP Facebook page and see what it's all about. There's videos and there's everything, and it's just talking about suicide prevention. I would like to talk to you after about maybe a future ride-along, because I've always been interested in one. And I'm so excited. I hope you call me to volunteer. I'm going to give you my number after, Mr. Relaford. Thank you all for coming. There have been, do you have any further? Well, they have a motion to adjourn.
Ms. Smith first this motion.
Tyree Wilson, second this motion.
There have been no further business to come before the Junior Commission. The meeting May 16th of 2019. I have a motion to adjourn. It's a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.